more people, I'll tell you the ground rules. Hey, Tom,
What am I doing
doing?
wrong?
how am I doing? Excellent question.
Go down to the bottom, and is there a picture of the again?
Say that again.
Put yourself on mute.
Share screen. It says share screen. That's what I'm going to do, right?
This is too funny. Old people.
Record, reaction, participants.
You gonna be my pillow? Okay.
Put me on mute. Okay, mute.
We are not.
Let's put us on mute.
Just go up to the.
Oh,
There you go.
what's up?
God, are you ugly?
Yes. Hey, did I tell you this morning I woke up and I was a basset hound?
I noticed them.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, I
Worked
gotta
on it
do
all
something
night.
else here.
I want to say hi to Paul. Hey, Paul Lutton.
Hello.
Hi. Good to
How
see
you
you
doing,
again.
Joanne?
Not on here.
Is that not you?
No, I have glasses.
He was going to that.
Say,
Oh,
I'll record.
record now.
He was in high school. Or he had
I mean-
No.
Okay, thank you all for coming. That's it.
Well done.
I'm
Good talking-
impressed with
good-
myself.
Good talking to you, Al. See you next week.
Yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, me
See you all next year.
Here I am again. My name is there, but not me.
Right, well, we can hear you though.
And you can't see.
Oh, you can.
Can she, see-
Okay.
can you see?
So I'll
Paul?
mute it.
She can't even see.
CPC.
No, she can see.
That's what I asked.
Okay.
I have
Go ahead.
Hey, it's my life and I'm stuck with it.
Dark.
Well, what's the scoop here? Oh, there, Mr. Thomas Rourke, I think your name is.
Maybe.
People are starting
Okay, I
to
got it
leave because
now.
it's not crowded enough like the bars.
Okay, whatever. How much time is left?
Looks like the Oasis on Saturday nights. People pop their heads in.
You're
there's not
getting
enough
some-
people are, they all leave. Everybody
You're
stayed. It'll
getting
be
some
crowded.
Packers and Bucks fans. You're getting some Packers and Bucks fans who are sticking around for the dying minutes.
2 minutes left.
Not enough for Green Bay to come back.
Had their chances, man.
They cut it to 5 now. 31-26. Anyone cares?
Microphone up in the corner there.
Can I get the game on this?
My picture. There's a
Hey, Al, how do I
red
get the
dot
game
that
on
says
here?
recorded.
We were watching the game and we just hit record. So we don't need any spoilers. When
No spoilers,
Yeah.
please.
See what
No
happened.
spoilers.
Quick, turn the TV on.
There I am.
There's only one thing more important than this game, and that's Ferber's poetry, and that's why we're here.
Now we'll see.
At least that's
Yeah.
why I'm here anyway.
Al, you cannot be TiVo'd.
I cannot be TiVo.
TiVo'd or Tebow.
Yeah,
Either.
that too. What happened? I just
You don't have
lost.
any more?
No, didn't I?
No, as I come on, it'll reconfigure it.
Oh, all right.
Where's Kathy?
So why is it chat? That's got it.
Off screen as usual.
Be right back.
I'm here. Hi, Kat.
Joanne said hi, Kat.
Hi, Joanne. Hi, honey. Tell them to stop pressing things.
It'd be good to get a little back
Oh, I do this other thing here.
What's that?
in Christmas without, I can't say.
Now you have a-
This is like a bad TV commercial.
My whole life is like a bad TV commercial.
Put my eyes on. I even wanted to print my stuff from Fraser. Yes.
See at the bottom who everybody is.
It's almost like being at the dentist.
Come back. Oh, sure.
You know, Grandma. Oh,
Sorry, Albert, I figured that poetry goes good with Pinot Noir, so picking
It
some.
also goes good with heroin and mescaline.
Thank you. Here's to Al.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Mouse. All right. So what do you want to do, host?
I think we're good to go. I'm recording, so
All right.
anyone
well,
who's not here, who's not fully here.
Raise
can
your hand,
now.
right? Okay.
yeah, anybody who's not here yet, raise your hand. All right. I might as well start. I'm going to read about the ground rules. There are none. All right, which means if you want to say anything, if you want to make any noise of any kind, please do at any time. All right, so I'm going to read about, I think, 5 poems, and I'm going to have my cousin Joanne, who I can't, oh, there she is. I'm going to introduce her and she's going to read some stuff and then I'll come back. If you're not all right with that, that's a shame. All right. The first one I'm going to read, I wrote back in 1970, I can't remember what, it was the late 70s. And it was in the first book that I ever had done. Anyway, I'll just read it and you'll either think it's appropriate or not, and I don't care. It's called Banana Ears. Gus swore that if his children had banana ears, watermelon eyes, and garden hose noses, if his children wet the bed, wiped snot on the bottom of the sofa, and never washed their hands, if his children, if his children rubbed food in their hair, smashed bugs with their soup spoons, and licked them clean, even if his children picked their asses in school and were forever dry humping the neighbor's dog, even then, he still would not let them go into politics. I didn't know if that would be appropriate these days or not.
That's pretty fun, Cal. Good.
That's the way it goes sometimes.
You were prescient.
Yeah, that's me. I'm one prescient son of a bitch. Okay, this is called Never Fit. He was the kid who never fit. His father tied him to a cross in the cemetery overnight as punishment for his behavior. He started using cocaine and heroin not too many years later. All the things that could poison a child were part of his life. Go figure. So now, with all this, some dippy, whiny voiced chick starts yapping her irritating attempts at singing inside his cranial auditorium and never leaves, thus improving the quality of his life. This is called Ass. From the window in his tower, he espied an ass walking through the blizzard, certainly not the kind of ass of a woman that usually grabs his fervent attention, but an asshole of the highest order, razor blades slashing across his face, snot running from his nose. The lone traveler on tortuous streets, perhaps suicidal, perhaps under delusion of being an intrepid adventurer, perhaps to visit a friend, to jerk off in two-part harmony to the vengeful storm. And he didn't have a paper towel either. Okay. Well, it's called Want Nothing. Want nothing. Wanting is a setup for disappointment. Expect nothing. Expectation is a setup for frustration. Frustration is a setup for anger. Anger is a setup for nothing good. And I would know.
I like that one, Al. What's that
That's
one
really
called?
good. That was really good, Al.
I like that one.
You'll get over it. I've given serious consideration to enjoying my life. But then I thought, no fucking way.
You followed through on that one.
I did. And I'm good at it. I'm sticking to it, for Christ's sake. Leave me alone. I'm trying to read poems here. Now I'm going to introduce, there's Pauline. No, I can't hear a goddamn word you're saying, Pauline. Talk to your technical advisor, Kathy, over here.
I figured out how to do it, finally.
Oh, you did? Well, you'll
Yes.
get over that too.
Thanks to
Joanne.
Kathy.
My cousin Joanne is now the featured reader of the evening. Joanne.
No extra charge, Al. This is still part
Yeah,
of-
no, there's an extra charge. You got to double pay for what you're already paying. Joanne,
This
I
first
can't
poem,
hear you.
I'm unmuted. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. This first poem is called Boulder. Gus said the unstoppable boulder of age came off the roof of his house and smashed him to smithereens, just like Wile E. Coyote in the cartoons. On a day when his face looked at the sun, on a day that he laughed with and smiled at his wife, on a day that he had painted his last painting, written his last poem, listened for the last time to Miles Davis and A Night with Daddy G. Ironically, on a day he'd accepted and embraced happiness and his good fortune for the first time in a while. Gonna go rogue here, Al. I know you gave me something else to read, but I found something better.
Okay. Hop, block her out, this bitch. We're actually related by poisonous substances.
Other than poetry?
Yes.
This poem doesn't have a title because I suck at that. A 12-year-old girl watched him press his shirt to get ready for the dance. That's the night she learned to iron. Before he left, he made her popcorn because she was homesick. She felt better. He looked great. That's the night she learned cool. A junior, or was it a senior, got taken to a college party. Friends of his who flopped in a messy, comfortable college apartment near Temple. Intimidated, exhilarated, but she felt cool. Time passed. Life moved. Shit happened. Some good, some bad. A 40-something picked up the mail one day, found a book of poetry written by him and some guy named Gus. And there in the pages was a poem about her grandfather, the grandfather for whom she was named, the grandfather she never knew, the grandfather who haunted her. And she was drawn like a magnet back to him. This 40-something loved photography. He invited her back to the past to photograph memories and sync them with his poetry. And she felt the excitement of a child, the flow of creativity, and she felt alive and cool. The collaboration continued. She read the dead guy poems. He read everything else. And he wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote. She could hardly keep up. But his poems poked her and fanned the flame of her own creativity. And she felt grateful. A 47-year-old picked up the phone on Thanksgiving morning. He was going away to get fixed. She cried tears of sadness and tears of happiness. It was well overdue, and she felt thankful. At 50, she introduced him to the captain of the ship. He and the queen, and she and the captain, talked and played and laughed and ate and ate and ate. Italian restaurants on the corner. Wonderful bread, great desserts, and always good conversation. For almost 2 decades, they were all together, and she felt peaceful and loved. A 65-year-old lost her mother. He was there. A 66-year-old faced her father's suicide. He was there. A 67-year-old said goodbye to the captain as he returned to the sea. She felt broken. He was there. A 70-year-old sits in front of a computer screen, looking at faces of strangers, but not strangers. And she sees him too. Both dented, chipped, rusty, both still create, both still alive. Once cousins, but always sis and bro. And yes, they feel cool.
Wow.
That's awesome, Joe.
Yeah, that was cool. Very
Thank-
cool.
That's it. Thanks for coming. I can't top that. There's no point in going on. Right.
Well, Al, it's the second time I've seen you in a couple of years, and I hadn't seen you in 50 years before that. So let's not keep it so long.
Well, that's why I'm not going to read anything. What was I going to say?
You want me to read the rest of what you sent me?
Yeah.
Mutterings and Murmurs. You can tell it's his poem because of the title.
Because it has the word murmur.
Because that's the title. I don't do that. More than 550 homicides by police officers between 2007 and 2012 were missing from the federal statistics or not attributed to the law enforcement agency involved, the Wall Street Journal reported. Frank Rizzo must be laughing in his grave. Second, my feet haven't forgotten. They know where to go and what to do. That's a referral to his dancing. We will soon enter a spiral of impenetrable darkness. Now I'm excited. Okay, who's calling my boss and asking for my job? It's only 2 days a week, for Christ's sake. Sparrows are my favorite bird. If you really play, you can't lose.
Okay, thanks, Joanne.
You're welcome, Al. I love you.
You'll get over it. The greatest, most distracting, most animated ass I've ever seen was in prison. That's the beginning, the middle, and the end of that. This is called migration. The pressure of finger against the keys, the slap of the letters against the paper, integral to the flow of the process that unlocked the words from the hiding places, an intimate relationship learned, acquired, conditioned over a span of years. This was my hell of discipline, the hell of my self-designed enslavement, a kind of pain that cuddled with me. That is what we do to make it right, or as close to right as it will ever be. The pressure and that slapping sound, a world that I would not and did not want to leave, not willingly. Turned out my fairy drudge mother, Kathy, had other plans. Plied at first soft and soothing words. Led me by my unknowing witless nose to a tiny plastic silent box where keys were not in tiers. They laid out on a flattened field, a soundless flattened box that I looked upon with intense derision and dread of cold impending threat. In the interest of full disclosure, sent my balls into a state of sweaty quaking. I cursed my cruel fairy drudge mother. I cursed that silent thief machine for their arrogance to try to steal my labor-intensive health. And then I killed her. Yeah. Okay, maybe I made her up. All I knew for sure is we were supposed to be meeting Patty and another girl for a double date. Everything was arranged. I had a clear image of my date blazing in my head. Cute, very cute. And what the hell was that? In a very unconventional sort of way. Brown hair, green eyes, slight olive tint to her skin, and built, medium rare. We got to Patty's apartment building about 15 minutes early. Jack Rowe, pushed the button for the intercom. No answer. Pushed it again. No answer. About 15 more stabs at the button, and an hour later, we finally conceded defeat. Never did get to see my date to compare her with my detailed notes. I thought that was inconsiderate, but that's the way it works out sometimes. Okay. As I approach these poems and I take these little things out, I then have to try to remember which poem on which side of the page I had selected. So you got a 50-50 chance of hearing what I selected. Okay, gaslights. Gus said as a kid, they had gas-lit cast iron street lamps with style that provided subtle, understated light and cast subtle, understated shadows up against the walls of the houses, along the sidewalk, into the street. Nothing like the wooden poles with high-powered electric bulbs that flood the street with harsh light, destroy the traditional shadows in doorways, where goodnight kisses were usually exchanged, where as a kid he used to dream of those kisses now that were taken away from him. You obviously, or you may have noted that those wooden poles have now been replaced by aluminum hats. All right. Okay. Cold. It's cold. It's been cold. It's going to continue to be cold. What is this shit with all the cold? End of poem. No,
Agreed.
what?
Agreed.
Wouldn't know anything about it.
Yeah, right. Okay, this is called drunk writing, which is probably not what I was going to read. That is the question, whether to write drunk or write drunk writing while drunk. Calamitous or fortuitous. Drunk writing can be fantabulous. Drunk writing can be an albatross to words, toxic to their proximity to other words, not stopped for drunk writing, not cited for drunk writing, not arrested, incarcerated, tried, and convicted of drunk writing, but writing while drunk with detectable words on breath, fingers, and papers. We'll have to send that to the lab for further processing. I don't care what you think.
DUIP, driving
What?
under the influence of, I said DUIP, driving under the influence of a poet or
I
poetry.
never claimed to be a poet. I write poems. I don't know shit about poets. Okay, majorette. Gus said this was one thing he'd never figured on being part of in his social itinerary. It was Vietnam time, and this had all the elements of social conflict and moral judgment and impossible choices and decisions. First of all, the odds against him dating a drum major from high school marching band verged on the highly improbable, and that she had a boyfriend he knew who was fighting in Vietnam swung the whole thing into the realm of the surreal. But somehow or other he met her, cute face and built to beat the band, and a decent, moral human being to top it all off. And he told her he felt guilty dating her, or having a boyfriend in Vietnam. Said he just didn't feel right about it. So she wrote her boyfriend a Dear John letter, just like it was changing a pair of socks. What he didn't know was she was dumping a boyfriend in exchange for a husband, with her sights set squarely on him. When that became clear, he was off down the street as fast as his draft-dodging feet would carry him. And that's the end of that one.
Yay.
Yay.
Yeah. Okay. I should have thought about this before I did this.
Why start
Okay.
something like that now?
Yeah. Okay. All right. This is called Cut the Shit. Please, my darling. Creep driving me further into a bottomless madness. Must have been sent by some amalgam of sadistic gods. Cut the shit, please, my darling. You seem to enjoy the sinking of my ship far too much. Oh, that's that for that one.
I have a question. Are questions allowed from the audience?
Not from Delaware, though.
Okay.
Questions are allowed. The sound of bodily functions are allowed, and just about anything else. So, shoot.
I'm not sure how many poems you wrote. I think you passed Charles Bukowski, you told me, but I've never read a poem about your experience as an eagle.
That hasn't happened yet, and Roger's going to die for that one. It's an inside joke.
I want to hear it then. Go
I'm
ahead.
coming
I wanna
out to
hear it.
Hawaii to get your ass.
Well, come on out. Aloha. Yeah, sure.
Okay, that poem that you're talking about will happen tonight.
All right.
All right.
Oh,
Yeah.
boy. Oh, boy.
Okay. It's going to happen tonight, and I'll send it out to all of you. Okay? And then you can read it and weep. Okay, let's see. What we
More
got here.
bird shit, just what we need.
Yes. And that's what you're going to get.
All right.
Okay, this is called Listen to the Bars. He spoke to an inmate who used to listen to the bars after lights out. He said sometimes they mumbled, sometimes they grumbled, sometimes they spoke, reminding him of his incarceration, his inability to touch, kiss, caress his girlfriend, wife, children, the strict restraints on his behavior, the hoops he'll have to jump through when he gets out, the difficulties he'll face trying to get a job. Every night the bars brought a different message to make this weight of his imprisonment heavier still. That's not pro or con, con. Okay, custom-made mythologies. Am I going too fast?
No,
Oh,
Did I slow it down? I can backpedal a little bit if you want. All right, shut up. This is called custom-made mythologies. 1 million people were at the same place. Something happened. They all saw and heard at the exact same time. At that moment, 1 million different mythologies were born. The Greeks, Egyptians, Zoroastrians, Romans, Coptics, Christians, Jews, Islamists, Buddhists, Hindus, one as accurate as the next. 1 million mythologies that would be heatedly debated to the point where the blood of disagreement drenched the sand and stone of entire civilizations on the strength of testimony provided by eyewitnesses, eyeball witnesses to history, way too far after the fact. You get it? Everybody saw the same thing. Everybody told the same story, only everybody told a different fucking story. And thus we have the shit we have. Okay. All right, this is called the 8-minute poem. Now, the 8-minute poem is probably about 16 lines long, and I could probably talk to you for about a half hour about it, but I'm not going to. All right,
That
the
is good.
8-minute poem. John and Peters, New Hope, PA, 1970 something.
Sin
We were
City
each-
on the Delaware.
I
What was
worked with the
that?
Goodman brothers there.
Yes. I'm not quite sure what I said yes to.
said-
Blah, 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 blah. We were
I
each
said I
given
worked
eight.
with the Goodman brothers there.
We were each given 8 minutes to read. Some asshole decided to write an 8-minute poem. That would take, give or take a second, 8 minutes to read. And it did, to a round of great appall. Thank you. Yeah, that asshole was me.
Up to the task.
Yeah.
That's me. Work hard at it, and I'm good at it.
Can I
My
ask,
grandmother once told me, find something that you're good at it, stick to it.
can I ask another question?
Yes.
Oh, no.
Dude, that's
One in the
good.
room.
Yeah. Are you the guy at the end that's going to ask a question when I'm ready to dismiss the class?
No,
Go
no.
ahead.
All of these fucking poems, when you read them, do you have any memory of what made them happen?
I don't know what made them happen in the first place. So I don't have to remember what made them happen because they just happen. I sit, all of a sudden words start to come in. I don't know what the next word's going to be. It just pops up. I write it down. The next thing I know, another fucking word. I got to write it down. And the words keep popping in.
So
Hey, will you be reading from demons and stuff?
From what?
Will you be reading tonight anything from demons and stuff?
No, tonight I'm reading from Waiting for the Parade, Dancing in the Furnace, Cirque du Couche. Fuck's the other one? Groin Toss on Midnight Boulevard, and Some Rivers Sing, Some Dance. The
Oh,
last one I mentioned is still in progress. So did fucking pictures keep moving around the screen? I can't stand it. All right. Bad Hat Day. Boo. Okay, Bad Hat Day. That man was playing that trumpet like nobody's fool. Now smooth, now blaring, now smooth transition into muffled carry. But that hat, that motherfucking ridiculous hat, seriously subtracted from the beauty of all his music's magnificence. Looked like he took a red and white checkered tablecloth from an Italian restaurant and fashioned it into a pork pie lid. It screeched and screamed itself out of place, made the music cry when it should have been singing. Oh, this is great. Okay, this, I have to say a couple words. On Amazon, one of the places where my books are, there are spots where people occasionally leave a review of the book. Okay? So these are just a random sampling of some of the reviews I've received. Okay? This is fan letter, first one I picked out. Quote, "This guy has been harassing me. He scares me. I told him to stay away from me. End of review.
That's great.
That's the best review.
It's my life.
Awesome review.
These are my fucking fans. Another fan letter. He once had something to say. End of fan letter.
Short and sweet.
Third fan letter. Twaddle.
What did he say?
Water.
Okay. This is another fan letter from the first guy. This guy was not very truthful when I encountered him. I don't feel comfortable around him, and I asked him to stay away from me.
He's consistent.
Was that Jack Rowe?
It might have been, but I actually know who this guy was, and I want him to stay the fuck away from me. Okay, here's the deal. This is my response to all of my fan letters.
All four of them.
Do tell.
Oh, that was good.
Well, that was my best shit. I don't know.
That was great.
Okay. All right. This is called hysterical references. Where does all the anger come from? Good question. I have no answer. Just trying to survive, not get beaten up, chewed up, spit on, spit out, stepped on, scraped off, bent, folded, spindled, mutilated by the world or by myself. Been in a bad mood for 60 years.
Like that.
Ah,
6 or 7.
Okay, this is called Beautiful Girl. Did you see the picture of the beautiful girl farting and picking her nose, harvesting a big green one? Well, I did. It was gorgeous and reassuring. Glorious. I misread myself. Okay, this is a short one. How many idiots does it take to make a moron? Well,
Two.
anybody get an answer for me?
Two.
One.
Actually, several thousand. All gathered recently in a certain place. This is called Mustang. She was wildly talented, somewhat small, strained at the restrictive reins of her father, or any man who would dare contain the natural freedom of her wind-blown mane, the spirit of a Mustang, with confidence that nothing, no man could break her. But after bitter year of merciless pounding, she weakened, witnessed the gradual ebbing of her resolve, found her world of poetry no match for repeated commitments to insane asylums, saw her talent wane and swirl confusion in her head. Lost focus, watched herself descend the innumerable steps of hell. That's
Is that a friend?
yeah.
Yeah.
Staying Sally.
You may or may not have noticed that as well as turning into a basset hound, I've become tongue-tied. Okay, this is a movie. What time is it? Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, then I can't do the movie. There's not enough time left. If I get to a point, oh, Jesus Christ. I didn't realize that much time had gone by.
Like 47.
Time flies when you're having fun, Albert.
Yeah. Feel like sitting on a toilet with a bleeding hemorrhoid.
Oh.
This is called Look Homeward Anglo. They told in no precursor terms, look homeward, Anglo, pale face, oh forked tongue, snake strangler, begone, white devil, mother flogger, in tincture, asphalt roads, interpolated mongrel isms with ya. Look homeward, Anglo, you go post haste, illicitly split. Spank your monkey once or twice, or it will bleed from its orifice on yours. If you want to go on your way, look homeward, Anglo. Get out of these here flogging place for good and evil. Oh, quiet.
Depressing.
Quiet. I said, shut the fuck up. All right. This is called octogenarian ragweed. Ain't got there. Odds are I won't make that cut. No matter to me, except my lady will be pissed for leaving her hanging with a bag of my accumulated words, all the unopened booze bottles on the shelves of the liquor stores that I forgot to buy, that I forgot to drink over the last quarter of me. All them dreams of naked women left in my desk drawer. All the sudden outbreaks of rage she'll never get to watch. The storage unit filled with my unsold orphan canvases that I have left instructions for a pile of them to be put in the parking lot and put a match to them and watch the bonfire burn.
Oh, I want one.
You can have as many as you want. Just get here before I light the match. No, before I throw the match.
Oh.
Tell me which ones you want, any of you, ever. Send me your mailing address and you'll get them.
Okay.
All you gotta pay is take them inside and open it up. Okay? And you do that at your own risk. Now, I gotta read the rest of this fucking thing. Hey. And watch the bonfire burn. And on the puzzled side, I have left my hands behind to hold hers. To touch her soft skin. To point fingers. To grope her while she sleeps. See, it had a nice ending. You fucked it up.
Sorry.
I know you're not. That's all right with me.
I didn't know you were doing so much groping at your age.
Oh yeah, heavy on the grope. I'm like my dad. When I stop looking, when I stop groping, start throwing the fucking dirt on me. It's a It's a congenital libido thing. All right, the other side of the looking glass. Okay, the other side of the looking glass. A note to teacher for Mavis, who strays from we don't know what, steps off the cliff of latent sexual duality. In about every way, sexy car scenes in her dreams, remarkably exotic. Hundreds of feet of garden hoses in a prudish manner, sex on a hot plate. Any way you feel, like a praying mantis, chains beating upon her chest, in the backyard with friends on the other side of the wind. 1 million AC/DC. Now, if that made any sense to you, call a doctor. I accept no responsibility for the effect these goddamn things have. Boy, maybe we do have 53.7. I'm going to try reading you the movie. Fuck it. This is a movie. I'm going to read you a movie. Are you ready?
An hour and 40 minutes?
Actually, it's an hour and 39 minutes. It's called Dreamcatcher. Dude had a dream catcher in his dresser drawer. Pulled it out each morning to see if it caught any. He didn't remember from the night before. Had him in a nut ward somewhere, let him out. Took his dream catcher with him in his rucksack to his old man's digs. The old man with a few screws loose himself. Now, women can get mad for any reason, she tells the kid. If you're running away, don't come back, you little prick. The zombie dude with the dream catcher looks at the kid, just like zombies do, and says, not a fucking word, just like zombies do. Kid decides he'd rather take his mother's shit and goes home. Dude's old man screen froze. His old man's digs turned out to be a closet with a view. Dude puts down the rucksack, takes up residence on the floor. Forgot to mention, dude's also got 2 poles. Dude don't waste no time. One day, out of the popcorn ward, off to a wedding, picks up a chick. She takes him back to her place. He lights a candle on a cake. Could be the chick's got 2 poles of her own. Because now they're talking marriage talk and mortgages and babies. Holy mongrel. So now he's back at the wedding. No shit. Dude flips out, grabs a microphone, gives the crowd what for about their lack of manners, and now he's looking for the girl he hasn't met yet. Dude's got 1 pole in the water, left the other one out in the parking lot. Okay, now he finds her, and before they meet, he slaps the bitch. That other pole is clearly up his ass. Beauty is a flower that withers on the vine. A woman's voice he hears while spitting his medication in the bathroom sink. Sweet words fade away. Love eventually tastes better when it's gone. Oh, Sadie. Mama, 3 poles and a pitchfork, my darling shipwrecked dearest. Mama got her 3 poles underwater. It's the pitchfork she's got stuck up her ass. What a family we got going here. Welcome to the family fruits. Such is life in the big city. Next episode features the Pole Watcher Sitter Trio with their single, Take This Pole and Shove It. Don't miss it. It all takes place in Whack Dad City. Mama and Dude are in it again. She kicks him, he slaps her. She quits his job. She quits his job to wipe her ass every day. Now we got progress. Dad's smoking opium in the alley. 2020, the year. Get the picture? Dude throws the dream catcher on the floor. More progress. And now we're on the roof. Talks to a kid who's got more poles than Dude and Chick and Mama put together. Mama don't, and I'm talking poles. Mama don't look none the worse for wear for a screaming Mimi who shits her pants and kicks the dude who wipes her ass. Oops, back to the roof. Oops, scratch that, the hospital. Dad got an ass ended at a red light. Big screen on the scene of the roof. Dad and the dude don't know each other. Tell me something good. For Christ's sake, for a change. Not in the cards, not in the narrative, not at this cemetery. So the bitch is dead for good. Happy now? While binging on 72 candy bars, he falls to the floor in the supermarket. Dude hasn't showered for 12 weeks, but his hair still looks good. Why doesn't anyone come visit? This is where it all gets muddled. They all do the woulda, coulda, shoulda, what if line dance, play ping pong with accusations. Let's outsourcing the whole goddamn thing, insult and injury, join the conversation. Dude punks out, doesn't off himself. Another tragic ending. And the tragedy, of course, is that the asshole didn't kill himself. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, did I put a fucking damper on it? Yes.
Yes. That was not uplifting.
You kidding. Okay. It's called Patron Saint. Gus said Lady Godiva is his patron saint. A nonviolent, wild-ass, entertaining civil protest, rode a horse, balls naked, covered only by her hair in protest of her husband's excessive taxes on the village poor. Would have been perfect, the perfect choice of taxation without representation. Snowflakes look like goddamn flying saucers down here in Ocean City, New Jersey. And we're thinking about staying down here year round. I think the planning committee needs to have an emergency meeting. It's cold. It's going to snow. More than a dusting. Enough to cause some skidding and crashing. Enough to show the winners turned evil. Don't take no prisoners. Don't show no compassion. The planning committee needs to have an emergency goddamn meeting. All right, that's it. Anybody else got anything? Any complaints?
No?
No.
Well, what more do you want out of me?
Just
Hey,
keep
Al.
writing. Al. Just keep writing.
Yeah.
Kathleen, what are you trying to say?
I have something if I can read it.
Go ahead.
It's kind of long though. Is that okay?
I don't give a shit if these bastards are willing to sit around and listen.
Mm-hmm.
When you say long, was it longer than what I just did?
When I start reading it, might not be.
Okay, go for it.
Okay. This is probably the first good thing I've written in a while. It's dedicated to my husband who just passed away in May of COVID. It's called New Life. My life is an open and blank canvas left to me to begin from a place of limitless opportunity. I can look upon these days as a curse and dark place, lonely and cold, after seeing the depths of my soul, crying endless amounts of tears until the well ran dry. In these most sacred of spaces, new beginning to behold, painting this canvas with my love for color, for flowers, and dirty with the earth on my fingertips. Having my nose in the books that spark my soul, finally to submit my master's degree written tests, taking back my minister's degree, renewing my faith in order to marry my beautiful daughter. She quietly whispered that desire, not knowing if I'd be able to handle it without her dad. But I'm just that strong, as I have been well loved. Will do anything for my kids, these miracles of mine. I'll be painting my color onto everything in my path, everything stark and worn, bringing it back to life, breathing parts of my soul into it. I'm coming back to life after 2 winters, a spring and a summer of being paralyzed, too afraid of life, too afraid to move, that I'd shatter into 1,001 pieces, too small to be put back together again, sitting at dusk in the silence promised by the night. Replaying the past, its most glorious and tragic of memories, reflections of a life full of colorful experiences and lessons well learned, always taking the roads less traveled, never taking the easy way, always doing life the hard way, the way intended to teach the roughness of this world, while maintaining an open and compassionate heart. Survival has been well earned, no regrets for the things I have done, even with the bumps and the bruises, the ripped jeans, the tattered Indian shirts, the worn leather of the suede moccasins that protected my feet as I walked along this faithful path, stepping on stones as I tread, my emotions like an unpredictable storm, my mood swings like a raging tempest. But yet I rise like a phoenix from the ashes of my past, getting to the other side of heartbreak, the other side of pain, the other side of self-doubt. I take it step by breathtaking step away from memories and leave them half burnt, but in piles of love and loss, keeping only the good tucked away and moving forward, shedding the heartache, stowing the tattered shreds of what's been left of my life, of my hopes and my dreams, only to walk out of those flames stronger than I've ever been before. I am healing, I am dealing, as I hold my head high, lifting my eyes to the sky, holding my body outstretched to the sun, moon, and the stars. I walk my way to this new and exciting day, looking forward to the promise of spring and new life in the garden of my soul, pulling up from the roots of my trunk like a tree, the sap of Gaia to root and ground me, to cleanse and release me from pain. She brings me back to the beacon of light I am meant to be. Ecstatic for the days to come, spent with family and friends old and new, days spent in laughter and love, their hugs and kisses I have missed too. Human touch is essential for growth, for carrying on with ease and grace, to renew that smile back on my face. The sunlight beaming on my skin, the embrace of the earth, turning from cold and dreary to lush with color and breath. Let me shine again so strong they can't look away. Enveloped by my scope, I've been well loved, continuing down the path, carrying all of it and its luminosity in my open and gently stitched up heart.
Wow.
Lovely.
That's it.
Lovely. That's a lot.
That was
Well,
awesome, Kathleen.
that was
Thank you.
incredible.
Thank you.
You're a damn fine writer. I didn't realize that.
I write a lot. I just haven't been able to write since last May. And
Well, that's a hell of a start. That's more than a start. That's what they
I-
call really good shit.
I
Right.
wrote updates on my Facebook page every day when he was sick and in the hospital, and my sister-in-law Shannon printed it. And some people think I have a book there.
Very well may.
I called it Keeping It Real, COVID-19.
Well, it'll be more real than anything I ever wrote.
Oh, stop it. Jesus.
All right, have you guys had enough?
I gotta go walk the dog.
Kathy says she's got to walk the dog. That's me. All right. Thank you for all coming. Don't take that the wrong way. I'll see you next time.
Thank you. Al.
Thanks,
Hello.
Sal.
Thank you.
Everybody.
Thanks for letting me do that.
Recording will be circulated.
Bye, Kathy.
Recording link coming shortly.
Okay, take care, everybody.
All right,
So,
thanks,
yeah.
Two
Al.
of my 3 cats made it.
Love you, bro.
Bye, everyone.
Got it.
Where's the stop?
Love